Yes, Steve, you are first. And hello to you. Excuse my tardiness, please. Good evening, Twitch. Or good morning, good afternoon. Who knows what time it is for you? Yes, Woo, you really are first. Indeed. You can pat yourself on the back for that one. Yes, please excuse my tardiness. Very embarrassing. Not very Swiss-like. Reasons. But I'm here now, and that's what counts. Do let me know if the music levels are a bit off. I had to adjust a few things before stream. Might be too quiet, I'm not sure. No, my cuckoo did not escape. I have a digital cuckoo in the corner of my computer window. So who is hyped for today? Today is special. New disco funk. Wow. Does anyone know why today is special? I'll give you a hint, it's in the stream title. Today is special because it is our first time playing with fire? No, it's not. It's indirectly to do with heat. It's definitely getting hot in here. Oh, wow. Thank you for contributing to Facecam Panther while using that hashtag. That is, what a compliment. Please don't take off all your clothes. That's not that kind of stream, people. And the revenue stuff is automatic. I should probably change the timer on that one. But the music is fitting. No, it's exciting because we are going to be playing with PostGIS. GIS? We need to know how to pronounce this properly. Someone has to go look it up. We are playing with PostGIS. It is the spatial data engine for Postgres. Hey, Sikan! Hola! Welcome to the party. It's Friday night. You know what that means. Data and SQL. Also, congratulations, White Panther, for making it to partner. Congratulations to you. For that, you get a custom shout out. If you're not familiar with White Panther already, and you should be, let's be honest, everyone here should already be familiar with White Panther. But if you are not familiar, then please do go check her stream out. Couldn't have done it without you. That is true, because I am counting as one of the viewers. Whether you needed my specific viewership is questionable. But in summation of all the views, you could not have done it without the summation of all the views. This is correct. Steve, your custom shoutout is still in progress because I was working on the concept for what I should use to shout you out. I'm taking a bit more time constructing yours because I want it to be extra special. Not that not everyone's shout out is not special. It's a hard concept to realize, I understand. It's just a bit tricky because there was a few different choices of things I could do and trying a few different things out. But if you would like to have a shout out, I can give you a shout out, of course. It will just be one of those standard ones. So you kind of have to say if you'd really want it. Why not? Let's just give it to you. Please do go check out Steve. Final day, last stream was the charity stream, Keeper of the Squishy. Incidentally, that is one of the possibilities for the shout out. I may need to ask someone for an asset for that as well. But yeah, I think we should kick things off. What do y'all think? I love just transitioning into an empty IDE. That's how you know it's gonna get good. You have an asset? Yes. I would hope so. All of us have assets. I will downgrade the quality of the stream very soon. From 1440 to 900. I have received all of your feedback, the numerous feedback concerning the quality of the stream and the digestibility of your internet pipes. It has been heard. I hope to have it prepared for Monday's stream, but I cannot make any promises because I have to adjust pretty much everything to make sure it's correct. What is this, an IDE for an ant? Yes, this is an IDE for an ant. That way I can already get my power mode started. Some of you may be confused by this screen and the fact that there's nothing here. Fret not. Oh, but I do need to adjust one thing. If the music level is okay, I need to change something because it's too loud for me. I'm sorry. I can't hear myself think. So I need to do something about this. What if I unlock? There we go. I think we can go to like -10. Is the music too loud? I spend my life in a state of slight confused. I'm used to it. Do let me know if the music's too loud. I will test with this for a while like that, but the levels look okay. So if you're used to the state of confusion, then welcome. For me, this is a new topic, what we're looking at today. I'm familiar with a lot of different data sets. I've worked with all kinds of data, and basically I've actually been able to summarize this into two distinct types of data. Basically, there's like behavioral data, which is everything concerning, so like, for example, events from web analytics, you know, transactions executed by someone buying a product, like all these kinds of things are behavioral because they are centered around a user. But then there's a whole nother world of object or fact data or whatever you want to call it. I couldn't really find a really good title for it. Basically, this stuff is like stuff that we've looked at in the past. For example, fuel stop. Oh no, this is more behavioral. This is more behavioral stuff. Like the IMDb stuff. So for example, this table here about films. This is basically an object fact database, right? This is a fact table. It just tells us that Carmencita is a short title. It's not adult. It was released in 1894. It has a runtime of 1 minute. and it has documentary and short. That's slightly off screen for you, but documentary and short as genres, right? This is a fact table. The facts can change over time, of course, but this is a fact table. Of course, there are other types of objects, facts data. For example, observations of things. And one of those observations is the weather, which is why I use the hashtag getting hot in here, because it is getting hot in here. Now that it's getting warmer outside, it gets warmer in my office, and so I will need to bring up a fan at some point relatively soon. When I do my streams and I sit here for like 3 hours, my chair becomes essentially a portable heater that could be used in the Antarctic. Now, object fact data, like weather, is observational, but it's not behavioral for me. It's behavioral for the planet, but not for me. And so this object fact data, or weather data, can look like a lot of different things. And what I have done is I have prepared, or rather imported, a weather data set from our National Weather Service, which is called Meteo Suisse. If you're curious, you can go to meteoswiss.ch. I'll just type that in chat here. And you can go get all the data that you want from them. They provide all of this data as an export. I believe, I don't know what the last day it is that I recorded. Oh yeah, this is up until the end of 2019. I decided to leave 2020 out for some reason. I don't remember why. Now, there's something funny about weather data. And that is that it has a natural physical realm, namely a map or a location in the physical world. A lot of the data that we've looked at over the past 3 months has had no bearing on the physical world. It's not entirely true, not that it's not everything. So for example, the stuff we did with the supermarket data. Each of these stores have a physical location, right? These are all different stores in different locations, but the physical location wasn't relevant for us at that time. Now, it would be cool to get these physical locations in some way and maybe put them in relation to my purchase patterns, but for that, we first need to figure out how to actually use location data in SQL. And that brings us to, I would guess, like, the way that I would introduce this is, how should I do this? This thing here. PostGIS GIS. PostGIS stands for, oh, that's the wrong window. PostGIS is a geospatial plugin for Postgres. Now, it comes from GIS. So if we just Google GIS, it's basically a geographic information system. And this is how to map the real world, which is kind of awesome when you think about it. So is anyone confused yet? Don't worry, you'll be confused soon enough. So basically, GIS could be used for a lot of different things. You could identify issues, you could respond to stuff, you could set priorities, you could understand trends, you could forecast, you could monitor changes. There's all kinds of cool stuff you can do with GIS data. And this is because, and they actually summarize this here, without the visual of a map, it's sometimes very hard to understand location data and identify the kind of problem areas or heat maps or density or whatever you're looking at in particular. And so that is something that we are going to be spending, I would say, a fair amount of time on. I'm not going to lie, I don't think that we're going to actually create a map in this stream. Honestly, I just don't think it's going to be possible. In between parsing the data and figuring out how to write SQL the right way for PostGIS and stuff, it's natural SQL, don't get me wrong, but you need to process the location data, and so it requires a bit of a ramp up. So I don't want you all to feel like we're gonna have a map at the end of the stream today. I want to manage your expectations, and that's part of good agency work. I used to work on agency side, so that's part of good agency work, is managing client expectations. And you are all my clients because I'm doing this for you. No, that's not true. I'm doing it for me and you're watching. Do you have the link for the CSV or whatever data file? I will do that shortly, but I believe you can just go to meteoswiss.ch, and there's some thing here about the publications. You can get the climate data from here. I don't remember exactly where it was. Here it was. Historic measured. I think it was here. In the archive? No. I can paste the link for you. Persicon. I don't know if it will help. Sometimes there's some stuff that's only in German and not in English, but I think there is data integration. They have this whole thing about how they get the data in there and stuff, which is crazy. So they have like data from their partners, they have data from their own stations, they have international stuff, they have Did you get carried away throwing a table, Steve? That's okay. I'll use either French or English. Yeah, French should be good. They have radar, they have international stuff, they have their weather model, they have also apparently balloons and something called profiles. And it's fed into this massive data warehouse, which obviously, even though weather data is relatively small in size, but it's still a significant amount of data. So significant amount of data is the key word here. This stuff, okay, goes back to 1864, which is pretty awesome. But Persicon, you raise a good point, because there's this NBCN is actually kind of important, because I need to actually get the explanations for what these individual columns are. 1864, is that all? Instrumental series of climate measurements dating back to 1760. Okay, we can go further back, Steve, if you feel like when you were around back then you want to know more. NBCN. Yeah, so this is the one where I got the data from. Centennial observing stations, references. How did I get this? Data availability. So these are all the stations. How did I get this stuff? I know that I got it somewhere. You remember the winter of 1760? It was cold. Just make some general remarks that could work. There's also this opendata.swiss, which is an index of all the open data within the entire country. Climatological monthly values, homogeneous, daily values. Hold on a second. I think it was this. This looks correct. Tageswerte CSV. Yeah. This is the one. So if you want to access this per second, here you go. That is, I mean, it's coming from geo.admin. Feel free to play around with that. I do need this thing. Oh, I'm gonna need to, give me 1 sec here. There was rain, snow, ice, sun, and it was colder than summer on average. Is that a regular expression, Steve? I don't think Panther would approve of this. I know that regular expressions have been banned from... It's a normal binary or, okay, then it's fine, no problem. So there's some stuff here about the data. I'm gonna move this somewhere else so you don't see the other really cool stuff in my downloads folder, because that's always really awkward. Do I not have a desktop folder? That's weird. I should have one. Why don't I have a desktop folder? That should be here. There we go. That was very strange. So I'm just going to move this to my desktop so we can play around with this. Yeah. All right. Awkward, what are you downloading? In fact, you don't want to know. You don't want to know because it'll spoil the surprise. So there's some legal stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Limited set of data can be found. Data shall allow familiarize. Open use must provide the source. Okay. So it's from MetaSwiss. You all know that now. And how to download. Here we go. There's a metadata file, which we don't need. There's also this thing here, which says stuff about metadata. But we will be using this particular thing. There we go. So let's open this in Sublime. That's just Sublime. Climatological network data. All right. Closing this out. Now we have what we need. I'm just going to open a new console. We can take a look at this. So, climatological network, monthly values. Okay, ours are daily, but that doesn't matter. Delivery times, we don't care about that. Data file structure. That is also irrelevant because we've already imported it. Per second, this may be also relevant for you if you'd like to conduct your own analysis. So feel free to just screenshot this and keep it, or download the text file and look at it yourself as you wish. Station abbreviation and date. So we have a file that has all the measurements, which has been imported as one table. Copy. Roger that. Copy. Thanks, over. We have all the measurements, and they're attached to a station. And then we have a table with the stations. So that's the key of the station. And then there's coordinates: east, north, lat, lon. And then there's some like URLs in there and which canton it's in and stuff like that. So this is just like a basic intro to this, right? These are the parameters: global radiation, total snow depth, cloud cover, pressure at station level, which is a daily mean, precipitation, which is a daily total from 6 to 6 the following day, SRE, which is the sunshine duration, which is the total of the day. Then we have TRE 200DO is air temperature 2 meters above ground, daily mean, daily min, and daily max, and the relative air humidity. So for example, let's just take a look here. For example, let's take a look. This is a station STG. Now let's look for a different station. I don't want STG as a station. Which station should we look at? This is rubbish. Let's look at the one in Lucerne, LUZ. So where station equals STH. What are we doing with STH, Steve? Wait, what? Oh, right, we want single. We don't have STH. Are you trolling me, Steve? It's the one after STG? Yeah. Trolled. So we have Lucerne. LUZ. STG. Yeah, I don't have STH, you're right. Thank you for the troll. Appreciate it. Appropriate emote. Very appropriate. Quite like your bar chart there, Steve. It's very, very cool. I should also be getting some rewards soon for subs. You can get some special emotes. That's on the way. It's being done. Not by me. So we have this data set here. Oh yeah, the Prime thing. You can sub for free with Prime if you don't already have it. Persican has done that. Thank you so much. So for Lucerne, for example, let's check out the most recent weather data from 20... Apparently, if you have Prime, you can sub for free. 2019, one per month. So let's pick one day, like this. 17th of June, 2019. We need to probably put these side by side so we can read them. Split and move right. Here we go. Let's take a look at just this line. So where blah 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 and date equals this. Now I'm gonna do this fun thing called transpose. And now we can take a look. I like free, shame I already paid. It is a shame you already paid, but it's most appreciated, Steve. I demand at least 1.41 rounded down. So this is these were the values on this day. GRE, so radiation, it was 345 W per square meter. I don't know if this is high or low. That's what it was. There was no snow. The NTO was unavailable. If there's a minus, it's missing data. Oh, watts. Watts per meter squared. That seems like a lot of radiation. Oh wait, it's like sunlight radiation, right? Or is it Naomi watts? 345 Naomi watts per square meter. That seems like a lot of Naomi to handle for one weather station. Okay, so use that a lot for your research. Oh, do tell us more, Persican. I would love to know more about that. That sounds pretty interesting. To calculate the amount of light needed for photosynthesis. Oh! How much is needed for photosynthesis? I guess it depends on the plan, right? That is super interesting. I never thought I would hear photosynthesis in my chat. But there you go. So there was no snow, there was unavailable cloud cover data. Prestad 0 is the pressure at station level, which is a daily mean. No precipitation. That's cool. So we can make a flag if it rained on that day. Usually we say 0.415 mol photons s minus 1 meter to the power of -2. 0 for rhubarb, more than that for other things. I love that I understand so little of what you just said, Persican. I love the fact that there's so many things I don't understand. Does that make sense to someone? Like, I really enjoy the fact that there's a lot of things I don't know about, because it means that I'm always able to learn more. Like, we can never know everything, so that's kind of cool. So like the total sum of human knowledge will always be unobtainable for one individual. It's kind of an interesting thing. And okay, so there was no precipitation, which is a daily total, which is nice because we could actually just make a flag out of that. You could say if RRE is 0, then no, or false, and otherwise true. You can hear it grow apparently, and I live near the rhubarb triangle. What? Is that a real thing? A rhubarb triangle? It sounds really terrible, Steve. Honestly, like, I don't like rhubarb, so it sounds like a horror thing for me. SRE D0 is sunshine duration. So this is 791 minutes. So that was 13.18 hours. That checks out. Middle of June, right? 17th of June, 2019. That definitely checks out. Air temperatures. TRE 18.9 daily mean. 12 daily min. 25.2 daily max. So we already have some nice spread of numbers that we can use. And the air humidity daily mean. It's a real thing. Something like 90% of the world's rhubarb used to be grown here. Wow. 90%? I'll have to go get some data for like rhubarb import and export. That would be fascinating. Not. Sorry, I just really could not analyze that kind of data set. It goes like against my very core as a person to analyze a data set about a food that I hate. I really could not do it. I'm so sorry. I just realized I've only been a sub for my channel for 2 months. Ah, right, because I've been affiliate for 2 months. Fascinating. Where was I? We were looking at one particular day. Does this make sense for everyone? The weather data? I think it's good to understand the data set that we're working with. I think that's important. Before we dive deep into like... West Yorkshire once produced 90% of the world's winter forest rhubarb. Also not something I thought would be written in my stream chat. I'll be honest with you on that one. Really didn't think so. One sec. Sorry, that was a cough. How are we doing on the Facecam challenge? Wikipedia says so, therefore it's true. 62% raised with 17 days left. That's checks out. If everyone keeps dumping their channel points into that. It might actually get... Oh dear. Thank you, Steve. Much appreciated. So, the next thing to do now is figure out how to actually use PostGIS. And for that, I have this lovely article. What is GIS? Okay, so this is how GIS works. Maps, data, analysis, apps, which is cool. Who uses GIS? Everybody. Arc, GIS, whatever, all the GIS stuff. All right, so we have a graphical information system. That's the most important thing to know. Now, I followed this article. I did not follow this article. I just installed the Docker container with PostGIS already installed in it. I mean, I used the image for PostGIS. That's it. This one, PostGIS/PostGIS. That's it. That was literally the install process. And funny story, I did this already 3 months ago. I've been using this data. I've been using this installation of Postgres for every single stream, and you all had no idea that PostGIS was installed on it. Isn't that crazy? Nuts, right? So, I mean, you never really looked at my Docker window, so you wouldn't necessarily know. And if I didn't open up the database object, then you also would not see it. So anyway, give me 1 sec. Just need to double check something here. Is that closed? Oh. Interesting stuff happening here. Oh, that's the wrong transition. That would be weird. There we go. Okay. Who's still with me? I don't really mind if you've all like dozed off or something. It's okay. So we did not follow this guide, but if you do have your own Postgres installation, then this would be quite useful for you. So feel free to take a look at that. The blog post is very good. I really like his explanation and how it's written. Steve, I see you're sleeping because you have obviously face typed that emote. You know, when your face hits the keyboard. All right, so why should you care about PostGIS? So there's this Medium article which tells us how great spatial databases are. And you can do super cool stuff in it. This is why we're going to spend a lot of time with PostGIS. Meow, Steve. Are you a cat? I don't know. Maybe. If you want to identify as a cat, you can. So SQL and PostGIS specific functions. So you write these commands on the command line after logging into your database, or you, okay, blah, blah, blah. Part 1. Files often require special software. SQL is an abstraction, blah, 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 blah. One very nice feature is you can more easily automate processes, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Spatial SQL can speed up your processing. This is what's kind of interesting. Standard, what they call QGIS, and a spatial file, or a shape file, took 226 seconds, but with PostGIS it only took 18. So obviously it's very fast. It's very fast, which is it's quite interesting. So you can see there's like this ST generate point stuff, and so there's a lot of functions, and you can use it for data visualization, which is what we're obviously aiming to do. I have no idea if I'll be able to create this. I'll be very honest with you. I have no idea if I can do this. It would be super cool if I could. And well, yeah, this is basically like GPS points for train per minute. I wanted to group them so I'd have one representative point for each minute per train, blah, blah, blah. There's like some cool stuff here. Yeah, and this is kind of the most important thing. Our data table, just to make this clear, our data table, this station measurements thing, this one, I don't want to transpose anymore. I want to get rid of that. This measurements table goes back to 1864. It has 1.3 million rows. If we start doing analytical processing of these numbers, of course it's going to explode in number, right? If we start to calculate things based on these rows, we have to be really careful. That's what I'm saying. 1.3 million. If you start to process, I don't know, you end up with something like 2 or 3 calculations per row. You're looking at almost 4 million calculations, right? So yeah, how to get started. So this is QGIS. We don't need that. Where was this thing? PostGIS documentation. This is the most important thing. This tells us what functions we can use in PostGIS. So for example, cheat sheet. This has all the functions we need to do stuff. And you see, this gets pretty complicated. This is why we're going to need several streams to actually figure out how this works. Then there's like lots of articles and books, etc. In this particular article, there is a point here about loading spatial data. And this is where I wanted to start, because we have actually loaded spatial data. The spatial data that I have is the metadata from the stations. And I wanted to start with this because it's 29 rows. Very simple. So super fast, super easy. I'm sure that it's very straightforward enough and we can figure it out. So we loaded spatial data. We'll use 2 layers. So we have to have tables with spatial data attached to it. So you unzip the file, and then we'll use some kind of command line utility. What? And there's okay, so you need this shape file. What does this even do? Unzip the file, and then we use a command line utility that's already been installed along with PostGIS. Regardless of the method, you can find the documentation about this command line tool in the official documentation. Shapefile loader. The shapefile data loader converts ESRI shapefiles into SQL suitable for insertion into a database, either in geometry or geography format. The loader has several operating modes distinguished by command line flags. Wow. Okay. This is super interesting. An example session using the loader to create an input file and uploading might look like this. So you make a road SQL, and then you can just data using SQL to retrieve the data. Okay, I already have. Oh, it's this geom thing. Yeah, this is pretty complicated stuff. In case of attribute-based restrictions, you use the same SQL syntax as normal with a non-spatial table. In case of spatial restrictions, the following operators are useful. Oh yeah. Geometries are geometrically identical. See, there's all these special functions that you get with PostGIS. Dumper. Using the dumper. Funny meme for that. Speaking of dumper.
Garbage.
There's this great clip from McDonald's, a McDonald's training video. Sorry. So what do we want to do? Let's see. I don't have to build any indexes yet, because that's kind of complicated. Projections. So there's this thing about the spatial reference system, because you need to know in which version of spatial reference your data is. Because like coordinates, for example, there's multiple different systems. I mean, it seems like a lot of different countries use their own system. But lat-lon is, from what I understand, universal, as long as It has the same center point or something like this. So, okay. Let's assume that we have PostGIS and our database is fine because we have 29 rows with lat long. We have to use pgadmin, which we don't need, I don't think. It says we need to install pgadmin. Why would we need that? Ah, here we go. I think it's just to... I think it's just because... Oh, I see. Tools, query tool, and enter and run. You can get a data output pane. Ah, so we should actually be able to see in our tables. These are all the database objects. You might be able to see some spatial stuff. Ah, here we go. Spatial ref system. So we will need to import this because otherwise this is basically the reference of all the different spatial systems that there are. Basically that all of them exist. One sec, I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So these are all the systems that exist, right? That's this SRID flag that they were talking about here. Where is this SRID? Where was that? Yeah. So this SRID 4269 is here. 4269 means that the center point is like, I don't really understand exactly mathematically how it works, but it's basically this North American datum 1983 standard. I guess it's just different ways of mapping the world if you kind of look at it that way, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's how I understand it. So yeah, how would we analyze lat long? Like if we wanted to visualize this on a map, then we would need to figure out how to process this stuff. So let's see. How would we import some tables with spatial data? We need a polygon layer. Point in poly. I need something that is more tutorial-esque. Get started with PostGIS. Oh, nice. An almost idiot's guide. That's what I need. I've already installed it. We can skip that. Creating a spatial database. I have that. Load. Okay. Download data. For this simple exercise, just download towns. Figure out the SRD of the data. You'll notice one of the files is called... okay. So maybe there is an information about which SRID it is using. That's the license. SRID. Oh, that doesn't work. Whoopsie. What the? Didn't mean to do that. Let's see if we can find out. Does it say SRID in here somewhere? No. Great. It's just telling us where it's coming from. Okay, so the polygons are included. That's interesting. Ah, SR429.11. Wow, Panther, what's happening? What is happening? Are you hyped because your pizza was so good? So apparently this is SR429.11. Does that even make sense? Party! Hype. SR429. I don't think that's actually... Ooh, we still have tiramisu. Okay. Okay. I'm not a tiramisu fan because I don't eat or drink anything with coffee. I know it's weird, but I'm weird, so... I'm just trying to figure out what is in this thing. There's no SRID in this file. They have included the geome, apparently. Is it this thing? I have no idea. Very strange. A PRJ is often included with an Esri shapefile and tells you the projection of the data. Yeah. Are these the shapes? I don't know. This is like... This could be the shape. It looks kind of shapy. I don't know. Could it be? In a way. It looks like this could be shape related. Ah yeah, look, polygon. Oh, okay, an XML file is a polygon. SRID is not a PostGIS term, it's an OGC standard. Okay. Probably Switzerland doesn't have that standard, if I had to guess. Because we always do stuff differently. Actually, there may be... so this was that. Maybe there's another explanation in here. How to download? No. License? Blah, blah, blah. We ignore all stuff, blah, blah, blah. This is the metadata file. It must be in here somewhere. So let's open that again. Okay. It's in German, I'm sorry. Tageswerte. Details zum Messnetz. Begrenzungspolygon inklusive. That's like the series, so probably not the format. This is not what we want. Let's do get started with PostGIS lat lon. Geography. It's very common to have data in which coordinate are geographics or lat lon. Unlike coordinates in Mercator, UTM, or state plane, geographic coordinates are not Cartesian coordinates. Okay. They do not represent a linear distance from an origin. These spherical coordinates describe angular coordinates on a globe. This is basically what we have. Of course, the Earth is flat. But yes, it's spherical. Angle of rotation from a reference median. Ah, yeah. So basically, some countries use different reference medians. Oh, okay. The following calculates the distance between Los Angeles and Paris using the standard PostGIS Cartesian. Note that an SRID of 4326 declares a geographic spatial reference system. Let's try this out. I definitely need this next to me today. I hope it's friendly. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. So let's see. We have a console. Where is this table? Station metadata. All right, select. What is this? Meteo Swiss. What? Meteo Swiss dot station metadata. And we're gonna do ST distance. Okay, and now we need to enter 2 points. Let's just copy this. Seems like a better idea. Can y'all still read this? Is this big enough? You have to tell me if it's not big enough. It's so quiet in chat. So we have, this is really interesting. It has like some auto formatting stuff. ST distance. J Walter. Welcome to chat. ST distance. Select. ST geometry from text. Oh wow, but what if I have lat long already? Good evening to you too, J Walter. Or is it afternoon or morning for you, perhaps? I feel like I did something with this before. I feel like I need to hide my screen so y'all don't see my secret stuff. 2207. Oh, okay, so we're in the same time zone. Wonderful. Does seem like your clock's a bit slow, though. Don't want this one. This one? Did I save what I wanted to do? Can't remember if I saved it. Ah, yes, I did. Oh, baby. My PC tends to do that. My watch is 2210. Interesting. Lagging time? So, I save all of my previous... how do you say? All of my previous queries. And this is one that I've saved. So look at this. Have I found out what the coordinate system is? No, not yet, because I also haven't looked per second. But apparently, this is what I did with the street information. So this is with a different data set. It's from the Swiss Topo, from this street stuff. But I assume it's the same thing because there's this, yeah, I mean, this like converts it to meters, apparently. With a distance sphere. I don't know if it's correct. To be very honest with you, I don't know if it's correct. Do you know how to find out the coordinate system of the data? That would be fun to know, Persican. So we have this station metadata. Let's just work from my query that I already built. You're looking, that's fantastic. But it's not 4326. Okay, that's good to know. Do we need to left join? No. We also don't need that. Alright. So I was using the lat and the lon. This looks fairly complicated. What was I doing here? I was building a little data set with lag and stuff. We can do that later. Let's call this station metadata. So we'll call this STM. STM. Oh, I can actually drag like this. Latitude, longitude, okay, so we have our latitude and longitude. Does this work? STM latitude does not exist. Really? Oh, right, they're capitalized because, you know, reasons. What is this? Maybe it needs quotes for some reason. Okay, the reason it's grayed out, by the way, is because I'm not using them. Alright, so geom1. We can use this st make point function. Oh, too much deletion. So we'll just call this lat. Make it easy, then we don't need to replace anything. Okay. Oh, we should take the label of the station. Location? Station location, we'll call this label. Label. Okay. So what happens when we do this? Oh. ST distance sphere does not exist. Why? Ah, because it's only one geom. We need to do ST make point lat lon. Here we go. So here we go. This is what I wanted to show you. So these are the stations with the distance from themselves to each other. Cool, right? Easy peasy. Now, if we wanted to do this station in relation to the next one, then we could just do lag stm.latitude by 1 over as lag. That seems good. And then we'll do longitude. Do you see the auto completion there? That was pretty nice. So we'll do now lat lag and lon lag. Here we go. So now what it's doing is it's lagging to the next station. So if I do stm.station, come on, station/location, with 1 as a thing over as a label lag, and I want to output this Can I output this here? Label lag? Oh no, that would be a geom. We don't want that. We'll just do it up here. Label lag. Alright, so basically the distance from ant to alt is 28,535 meters. Now the question is this correct? That's a very good question. Different spatial databases have different approaches. This should be interesting to find out. So Persican, you said we should find out what coordinate system this is using, right? I think that's a good idea. Because, oh, did you find it? I think this is the one. That is correct. I was going to actually tell you about that. So I looked at the time when I looked into this topic. This has been a while back. I looked back. Let me just get this out. Where was this thing? So there was a thing I did. Did I find the... No, I did not. I didn't write it down. But essentially, I looked, and there's actually two systems. There's LV03, and then there's another one called LV95, I think. How do we know this is the one? That's the real question. Replaces LV03C, but used only occasionally in Liechtenstein. Replaced by CH... Ah, yeah, see, here. Replaced by CH1903 Plus, which is LV95. So I think that this dataset uses LV95. But there's an easy way to find out. We just type NBCN LV95 or LV03. LV95 replaces the... I need to have NBCN in here. Otherwise it's not going to tell me. Transition... Oof. Oof. Geography. I'm guessing it's in LV95. General geological map. Displacement vectors. What is this? Sorry, it's in German. But essentially... So these are the four systems. Okay, so 1903, this is the definitive now. LV03 is the old one, Alte Bezugsrahmen, and this is the official one, LV95. So I'm gonna assume that this data set is in LV95. How do we set now? How do we set the SRID? How do we set the SRID? How do we do that? Ah, that's in here. Geometry from text. But what if I'm using STMakePoint? Float X, float Y. Return point with unknown SRID. Return point as... Ah, you can specify it. Okay. So let's look at the different ones. Use spatial ref system. So we should search for something in here where SR text like LV95, something like this. Ah, here we go. This is the 1903 one, so it's an SRID of 2056. So we would do like this, ST make point 2056. Does it change the results? That's the question. It doesn't, which means it was working correctly already. I wonder what that means. Well, is there a way to even validate this? I don't know. I mean, technically Google should tell me the distance between two things, right? Distance between two lat long chords. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay. Let's try that. Ant and Alt. Okay. So Alt and Ant. Let's try this. Wait, this is... Wait. Is this lat long? No, this doesn't look right. Lat longitude distance calculator. Yay! Okay. Latitude 1. Latitude 2. Longitude 1. Longitude 2. Kilometers. Compute. To the nearest whole unit. 29. Oh! Wow. So this looks like it works, which is pretty cool. Wow. What? Really? That was cool. So how do I generate now a visualization from this? How do we generate a visual from this? I don't know. Something we need to Google. Generate data viz PostGIS. You made a very quick map. Holy cow, Persican. Just wow. Persican. That's super cool. Yes, the coordinates look like they are okay. Wow. That's what I wanted to do. You were faster. Awesome. Yep, LV95 is the one to use. So this definitely makes sense because if I look at where these are, this is definitely Altdorf. So that's really cool. Yay, ads. Cool. How did you generate this in PostGIS? How did you generate the map? I can see that this is not even, oh, in R, okay. Not using R, but I know that you can create a map visual in PostGIS. Spatial thoughts. Generate map. Building applications. Clever maps. How to generate map data. Oh, I would need a shapefile. No. Why would I need a shapefile? Create the PL into the directory shapefile. Ah, okay. Create shapefile from data. This is what we need to do. Shapefile. A shapefile call refers to a collection of files with You'll need a shapefile for the country polygon. Yes. So if I have an SRID, then I can create a shapefile from it, right? Convert PostGIS to shapefile. I want to do exactly what you did, Perskin. Just in what am I trying to do? Trying indeed, yeah. I can just convert something to the shapefile. Right, I need to create a shapefile. If you want to save a whole table as a shapefile, just use the table name as the query. Huh? Okay, so this is the format. Select PGSQL. I don't think I have that. What the hell? Hold on a second. Export shapefile from PostGIS. GDAL OGR. OGR to OGR. What the hell? I want to create a shapefile. I feel like I need to run this in the console and not in the actual window. Does that make sense to anyone? Routines, trigger functions, aggregates, operators, blah blah blah. Wouldn't be an operator, it would be somewhere. Well, there's the spatial ref system, but then these are just routines. Transform geometry would be SH something. Feel free to backseat chat if you know how to do this. I need to generate that shapefile because then I can apparently generate the map in here, from what I understood. Where's the console? I know there's a console here somewhere. Services. Where is the console thing? I want to see tool windows, services, problems, debug. Maybe it's not there. Maybe it is just here. I have the extension already. This should work. Okay. If Stack Overflow says it should work. Why does that not work? Syntax error. Interesting. You can use a build and import plugin that's installed. Data grip. Failing to show new... No, that's not what I wanted. DBF. There's some very strange results here. EG admin alternative Mac. GUI tools for Postgres. Oh. Okay, interesting. Failing to show new Postgres tables. Ah. I loaded a large dataset via command line tool from my local machine to a PostGIS database. I'm connected to that database via data grip and the tables never showed. Oh, okay, hold on. Maybe... Oops. Maybe I need to access that in Docker. That could be the case. Containers. CLI. So now I'm in my Docker thing. Ship. So we would need to run the thing we need with the right permissions, but I think we have the permissions. So S is the Shima 2056-I. So we'll call this Switzerland. I don't know. Shima.world countries. What is this? It's this one. And we'll save it as station metadata.sql. Okay. Who knows if this will work? Let's try. Ship P. Okay, great. Interesting. How do I work with DBF files in DataGrip? I'm on macOS. There's no way to do that, and there's even a ticket. What? Oh no. DBF. Do I have a package manager in the container? No. I'm not sure, actually. Convert DBF to CSV. I use DBF to SQLite. Blah blah blah. Ah, done with shape. Oh, you need to specify permissions? Oh, this could be like... This could be a problem because... I don't know if it has it. Ship to PGSQL. Oh, damn. Quickende, welcome, J. Walter. It could not find that package. So it has a package installer, but it doesn't have. Okay. Ship to PGSQL. Yeah, that's right. Strange. How are you today, Quickende? Let's try SHP Docker PostGIS. Maybe there's like something with the Docker container. Oh, hold on a second. Ah. Oh no. This package does not appear to install utilities by default. Oh no. Start the container and mount a local volume. In this instance. Really? Okay. PostGIS is already installed on it. But we can try. App get install PostGIS. Ah, hold on. Sure. What are you running in the Docker instance? I'm running just a simple PostGIS container with a database. I really hope it doesn't trash my data, because I actually don't have a backup of this. Okay, seems okay. Setting up 311. So it's unpacked. Okay. Let's try this ship to PG SQL. Ah, okay. So it was a version problem. Nice, okay. So this should be what we need. I meant underlying distro seems to be Debian based. I don't quite understand your question, Quickende. Sorry, I'm not like a dev, so. Unable to open Switzerland.shp. DBF file cannot be opened. Ah, okay. So we are getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. Never mind, it's working. I mean, it's working, sort of. I don't have a shapefile. This is the problem. Maybe we just download the shapefile. LV95 shapefile. Probably someone did it. This map is designed to be used by GIS professionals and as a reference map by anyone. Yeah, this is more me. I'm not a GIS professional. What do I do now? Sign in. Open in Map Viewer. What if I just want to download it? Can't I just download it? So where where is the shapefile? How do you know if you're a GIS professional? Is there a diploma? Probably. I mean, it's something I would definitely put on my CV, that I'm like a GIS professional. Topographic map, Switzerland. I don't... Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the map. That's cool. This is the map. I mean, honestly, Persican, if you're listening, I'm super impressed that you were able to do that so fast. This is just foreign to me, and I live here, so that's saying something. Esri shapefile, SHP. Loading shapefiles? Ah, wait, I need to build a shapefile. I could also just download one from here. I think it exists. We'll use some natural earth shapefiles we downloaded earlier. Yeah. Natural earth. Release notes? Downloads. Medium scale, large scale, medium scale, small. Overwhelmed. Download all vector themes. Ooh, 279 megs. That is very big. But I have lots of internets. So we'll do that. Hello? Is it downloading? What's happening? 279 megs is not that much. No, in reality, it's not really that much. I'm trying to download, but it's not doing anything. 5 minutes of a YouTube video. Yeah, basically. Okay, Switzerland. File. Oh look, there's tons. Look at that. I'll just get this one. It'll probably work. Who knows? Yay! Is this right? It looks like Switzerland to me. So, yeah. Here's the problem. Where is it gonna find my shapefile? Because Docker... Oh man, I hadn't thought this one through. Dockerized... I haven't mounted a volume to it. I need to like mount my desktop to it so that it can find the shapefile. Oh boy. Honestly, chat, what have I gotten myself into? I thought this would be fun. You can copy files into and from a running container with Docker CP. I don't even need to mount a volume. Docker experts in the house. Okay. If I don't specify a destination path, what happens? Probably get the same thing, yeah. Source path specifies a file. Well, let's try something. This one. CP. Copy files folders between a container and the local file system. You're running it in the container now, not the host. You need to run from the host. Oh, right. Yes. Thank you for that. CD desktop. And what's the name of this thing? Switzerland shapefile. Obvious in hindsight. Hindsight's always 2020. So if this is the shapefile, I need to specify Alright, Docker's still kind of black magic. Yeah, you're not the only one, Quicente. Alright, so this is the this is the one. I have container ID. Please just give me an example. Docker CP example, please. Stack Overflow examples. Here we go. My container. So I use, that's the image, command ports. Hold on a second. Yeah, that's the name of my container. This is all black magic. So Docker CP. Which one did we want? CH. This one. Does it use the container ID? Okay, I thought it uses... Okay, I thought it uses the name. But we can do that. And we'll call it ch1km.ship. Oh, so this worked. I don't know where it is, but it worked. I don't know where the file is in Docker. Thank you, Quicende. It's on the root path, basically, because I didn't specify a folder. So now that I have this, I need to import the shapefile. So ch1 kilometer. Is that the one? ch_1 km.ship. Check with ls. Yeah, probably worth a try. There it is. So basically, sheep to PGSQL shapefile 2056. Sheep is the Meteo Swiss metadata, something like this. EBF cannot be opened. Oh, we need to import the DBF. Really? Well, we can do the same thing with the DBF file, I guess, right? I have no idea what I'm doing. This is the DBF file. I actually like to see what it looks like, which I have no idea. Well, whatever. Let's just do this for now. Okay, so it did that. ls. DBF is there. Oh yeah, we have. Ooh, wow. This is doesn't like. No, what? Jesus, man. Can't even type in here properly. DBF. Fine. Okay, we're trying again. What happened? What happened? Wait a second. LS unable to open SHX. Oh, you need to put all of them. Okay. SHX. I probably could have done these all at the same time, but I like to make my life difficult. Oh, this looks good. Field EF for origin is an FTW with width precision 0. Shapefile type polygon. Oh, has this worked? What have I done? What have I done? Should I not see it here somewhere? I feel like I should see it. Yeah, I actually just refreshed in the background. Okay, I should see it here. Ah, wait. I think I selected a schema. Don't think it's starting to DB, just creating a SQL file. Well, we can double check that certainly. Yeah, but what do I do with that now? I don't even see where that is. Ah! What's in there? Import. What do I do with that now? I don't even know what that is. Docker CP example. Now I need to get it back out. I guess it's just blindly executed. Totally. No. I accept cookies from you. So we do the opposite. Oh, that's the wrong one. Docker CP total YOLO. Docker CP oh god, what do we call this thing? Station metadata.sql. What a great name. Oh, I need to put the container ID again. Quite like this Docker stuff, but it's a bit complicated. Black magic, Quickende, I agree with you. Station metadata .sql. What's the target? Whatever. It'll just put it in my root directory probably. Oh, yeah, it's in here. Exactly. All right. Nobody who is still alive has ever failed a YOLO. So what is this exactly? Set client encoding. Ah, when I run this, it will create a shapefile. But I'm so afraid to run this. I'm so afraid to run this. I'm doing it anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway. As we say, YOLO. Okay, is everyone ready? There's some problems though with this file. Yeah, relation already exists. Create table already exists. Alter table, add primary key, GID. Select. Interesting. Current transactions aborted. There's something weird happening here. I don't understand this. Okay, hold on a second. Let's try it from scratch. Import shapefile, PostGIS Docker. This is my buddy, by the way, who might be watching the stream today. Jay Walter got an early day tomorrow. Good luck with the rest of the stream. Thank you. You have an early day tomorrow. I wish you good sleeps. Kukende, what are we doing? We are going to try and figure out we are gonna import a shapefile. Yes, exactly. I have succeeded to import OSM file with this command. To upload the CHP file, do this. Oh. What does this do? What does this do? Well, Kvikende, I've gathered you want to import geography data to the DB and do some weather DB stuff. I already have weather data. I have all the station measurements. What I would like to have is those measurements on a map. So I'm doing the kind of groundwork first, because I have the stations with their latitude, longitude, and then I would like to display the weather data on those stations on the map. I can already join these two together and do queries. That's not the issue. That's fun stuff. The hard part is figuring out how to... I'm trying to figure out what this is doing. It creates a shapefile, but I already have a shapefile. So you have a shapefile, blah blah blah. postpl.sql. What does this do? This command looks like, for me, it executes the SQL file in GIS. That's what it looks like for me. Let's see. Importing shapefile. Okay. Maybe run man and see what I and S and W actually does. Well, I'm not so concerned with that. My main question is, like, what's the geom? It can't resolve that column. It's adding a geometry column. Ah, wait a second. Wait. This we know. This we know already. Ah, I see. Okay. We need to modify this because the table already exists. This already exists. Okay. We need to alter table. We need to add columns. We need to add columns to the table. That's what this does. Ah. And then it automatically appears in the spatial ref system, from what I understand. What if we create a new table? What if we replace all of this? What if we replace, find and replace this, and we replace it with 2? Just for lulz. And we execute everything. Oh wow, okay. Did it work? I don't think it worked. What's happening? Oh, it's doing something. Uh-oh. Current transaction is aborted. Uh-oh. Metadata exists. Yeah. I think... Oh man. I just hung my JetBrains IDE. Because it's trying to execute something like 800 rows. Oh dear. Uh-oh. Can see my CPU usage spiking. Drops the database table before creating a new table with the data in the shapefile. For overriding the table you have created with your previous trials, the first error message tries to help. Ah. Wait a second. So it's trying to insert this stuff. Oh man, I need to stop this. I need to stop it. It's doing crazy stuff. Oh man. I hope this stops. I clicked stop. Oh. I cannot use data grip right now. This is the problem. Come on, data grip. You can do it. Okay. There we go. Okay, so it's having an issue. Let's just do one at a time. Create table, blah, blah, blah. All right, so we have a metadata 2 table. All right. Now we alter table. It creates a primary key. Okay, we have that. Now we do add a geometry column. Okay. Now what? Insert into. Geom of relation station metadata 2 does not exist. The geom does not exist because... Oh, I see. It is adding spatial data to it. I would love to know why this isn't working. Geom. Why is that not working? I am back. Have you been able to read your shapefile? Almost. We have an error, and welcome back, Persican. The error is the geom is unknown. Even though I execute this, column geom already exists. Where SQL statement. Okay. Where is geom then? Yeah, this is here. One earlier thing I saw was that it seemed you had some Unicode errors in the town names. The select column name is not metadata 2. Table name. Ah, wait a second. Ah. This is weird. You're right, this is not correct. Table name is this. You're right, you're right. So this is column name. What do we need to add here? Geom? I don't know. Shima is not a valid Shima name. Ah, wait a second. Maybe this is the right... Ah, that's why. Yes, yes, yes. Because it hadn't added this to the right one. It added it to here. It added it to here. But not to the one we're working with. Okay, so now there's a geom in there. Now what? Oh, that worked. Oh. Okay, so that worked. Oh, wow. Now what? Should we execute all of them? Yeah, why not? Who's up for YOLO? Here we go. It's executing. YOLO indeed. I don't know what it's doing. All I see is my CPU usage spiking. That's all I know. and Persican, just so you're aware, I have nothing against R. I just have not worked with it yet. I probably won't be doing that this year. I have other plans for the next few months, of which I will be doing a lot of it on stream. Most of it on stream, actually. So yeah, I have nothing against R. It's fantastic. I mean, Python, R, there's really, like, I have, you know, I've played around with ggplot and stuff in the past, but I just haven't spent enough time with it to really use it and abuse it. So okay, that's running. That's running. Oh, it executed? It's your main tool for your everyday work. That sounds very powerful. All right, so we have all the geoms. Now what? What happens now? This is the real question. What do we do now? I've helped some people with MATLAB and heard R is similar. Is that true? Never worked with R. You mean MATLAB? As in MATLAB? I think they're quite similar, actually. I think they're pretty similar. But someone like Persican is probably better suited to answer that question. Yeah, they're both scripting. I wonder if there's... R is basically used to solve problems related to statistics, whereas MATLAB is used for other aspects of mathematics such as calculus, plotting graphs, etc. Interesting. A very interesting topic. Okay, so we have this metadata in here. Now what? What do we do with this? Persican says I do machine learning, stats, modeling, data viz, all in R. That is pretty powerful, yeah. What kind of machine learning stuff do you do, Persican? Is it also related to photosynthesis and things like that? Display map geom PostGIS. I mean, I don't understand. If I just do select star from metadata 2, it just gives me the data. How can I show it? I don't know how to show a map. Kende, yeah, I'm coming from more traditional comp sci, so I found MATLAB weird and confusing, but we are solving different problems, so different tools. Mostly about remote sensing and the ocean. I use satellite information to predict, for example, the chlorophyll in water from space. Wow. Fascinating stuff, really. Super interesting. So much you can do with data nowadays. I think it's this pgadmin data grip. pgadmin versus data grip. Oh. Can I show map in data grip? Maybe it's not even possible. Wait a second. Show GeoViewer. Using GeoViewer for geographical data. The GeoViewer only works if JCEF is enabled. Services. Okay. So these are my services. I'm from Norway, so do you know if there's any relationship between excess algal growth and salmon farming? What a question! Who knew we'd be talking about this in my chat on Twitch? In the database tool window, view tool windows database, double click, show options menu. Hold on a second. Where is this? Show GeoViewer. What's happening? Is this working? Hold on a second. Can I not just do this from my own metadata? I need to drop this column, by the way. Because I did some weird stuff. How do I drop that? Geom. Drop the geom. Bye. Show GeoViewer. Oh! Check it out. This is cool. CartoDB. Okay, but I didn't do this with PostGIS. This is just the lat long data. And these are the individual points. Because there's a viewer here. Oh look, there's interesting maps here. Thunder Forest. There's even some weather stuff here. What? Okay, so we did we do it? I don't know. We kind of cheated because I found that there's this GeoViewer. You see? There is a GeoViewer here, so it's not using pgadmin. It's not really the same thing. The question is, will it display other stuff? I don't think I can really modify the map because it's just using... Let's try something. Are all points within the borders of Switzerland? Yep. I'm just gonna try something. Select star from Meteo Suisse. Station metadata. Latitude. Station. Where is it? Station location. Latitude. Longitude. Really? It doesn't get it. Why is that? Okay, so this is this. Now I do show GeoViewer. Does it work still? Can I pop it out? I think there's a way to pop it out. Where was the pop out thing? To detach it, drag it from the services tool window. Oh, nice. Okay. Sweet. So we have our little map here now. Where the hell are we? There we go. Okay, so the points are marked. What I don't know is if we can actually modify the points. Like if we can do like different algorithm stuff. So like for example, if I do station location as lock, then it will just change this to read lock, but it doesn't actually pass any arguments, you know what I mean? Okay, so data grip, GeoViewer, parameters. Is there a PostGIS geometry viewer? Yeah, but I can't like color areas and stuff like that, right? Maybe we've reached the limitations. Maybe we have reached the limitation of data grip. It's possible. Data grip, PostGIS, map. Are you Danish? No, Canadian, but studied 3 years in Denmark. Persican, I had no idea you were Canadian as well. Hats off to you, my friend. I'm also half Canadian. I am Swiss Canadian, actually. So there is a geometry viewer, 2018. Data grip, PostGIS, polygon. Oh, what is this? Display full geometry. I already have that. From the French part. Oh, so France, basically. Just messing with you. How can I get polygons here? Oh, map, not nap. We use a lot of spatial features of SQL Server 2017. This was a long time ago. Quebec is the French part of Canada, that's correct. Your other part, I have no idea. You can write a little bit of Danish, but you don't know how to speak Norwegian, or you prefer to speak Norwegian? Almost? I'm not sure. Okay, let's see what they did here. Oh, good. This was added last year. But I cheat a little as a Norwegian. Ah, okay. Test frameworks, blah, blah, blah. GeoViewer, data grip only. Show GeoViewer, blah, blah, blah. Oh, but you can't. Okay. Ah, wait, look. There's polygons here. There's like polygon highlighting. How did that work? Ooh, okay. Multi-polygon. So maybe this does work. Hold on a second. Station metadata 2. show GeoViewer. Oh, it doesn't know about this one. Kukende sounds like Kvinde. Dated a girl from Quebec. The things people talk about in chat. I need to figure out which map I want to be using. World gray canvas. That seems good. So I want to map this stuff. Okay. What the crap is this? Sorry, I had to change that. That wasn't very good. Metadata 2. So we have to add this stuff to the original data set. There's no other way to do this. I am going to just export this to a file because I don't want to mess up. So I'm just gonna save this quickly, just in case. I don't think we need that anymore. Let's see if this works, my friends. And then I think we will call it a night soon. I have gotten very far today. I did not expect to create a map today. I did not have that expectation. So that's fun. Definitely didn't have that expectation. So we need to add the stuff to our first table. So we need to add these columns to instead of create table, we have to alter table. Alter table, meteoswiss dot blah blah blah. What are the add columns in SQL? SQL add column. Alter table. Here we go. Alter table blah blah blah, add column. So we'll just prefix these with add. Okay. Syntax error. Oh, we don't need the brackets? I didn't know that. What if we add multiple columns? Add multiple columns. Fun fact, queen and kvinde is the same word. So are you a queen? Add column. Oh, okay, so we don't need to specify all of them. We can just do add, and then we can just do like this. Comma, 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 and then all women are queens in Danish. Fascinating. What is happening here? Add, alter table, blah, 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 add GID, serial, column. Why is this not working? That should work. Maybe we need to write add column, but it should not be necessary. Now it did it. Okay, so we've added GID, cell code, EO origin, no origin. Okay, so far so good. Alter table, metadata 1, add primary key. Okay, done. Select, add geometry column, meteoswiss column name, metadata 1, new SRID, blah blah blah, polygon. Okay. Done. Now we need to change this. So we'll change this from 2 to this, replace all, and I'm gonna execute this again. There we go. Oh boy. It's gonna take a few seconds to execute this. In the meantime, I just want to thank you all for your support today. Really appreciate that. Erskine, Kwikende, Jay Walter, I know you've gone to sleep, but you might watch the VOD. I want you to know that I appreciate you all because my learning experience here on Twitch has been fantastic. Thanks to the community like yourselves. Yes, SQL is very powerful, Persican. I mean, R is super powerful, but you can do so much with SQL. And I mean, I haven't actually been doing SQL stuff for that long. About 3 years now, going on 4. And I mean, there are people with 10, 15 years SQL experience. I can't even begin to imagine the kind of stuff they're able to do. And for me, it's never about the tool. Like, of course, I am very familiar with SQL. I would say it's like my best programming language now. The one that I'm most able to write. Not being a dev, but just an analyst. I focus more on analytical languages like SQL. Next, I would probably go into sort of Python or R territory. Hello, Gak. Raiding with a party of 3. How was your stream, Gak? Did you buy it? I have like this voice in my head when I read it from your channel. There you go. Oh, Gak, thank you for that, for the subscription. Hey yo. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. 2-month sub. That is great. Let me guess who that is without looking at the alert. Probably Ian, and it is, of course, Ian. Welcome. Welcome. We have just possibly... Oh yeah, it looks like it worked. Okay. I think it worked. So we have this metadata. Oh no. Oh, it just inserted. I see and hear something until my internet says no to 1440 again. Noob, thank you for the sub. It might help you at 1440. I don't know. So we obviously have some issues here.
Nice.
Oh, Gak, thank you for the bits as well. I messed up because essentially I inserted tons of values into this table and nice. Oh my gosh, trying to set off the choo-choo. Well, you have most definitely set off the choo-choo. We are at Hype Train level 1. Congratulations. I want these stupid polygons to work. Aw, noob. Thank you. Persican already had Prime, but now you have landed into the category of not only Prime. Oh wait, yeah, you get 1 per month. What is happening, people? What is happening here? So Persican, welcome to the bar chart territory. Thank you very much for the gift sub, Noob, and thank you very much for the gift sub, Gak, as well. Ian, welcome to bar chart territory. Enjoy your lovely bar chart. So I inserted data into here. I knew that it would not work correctly because basically there's all these polygons in here. Oh, Ian, thank you very much for the gift sub as well. Better you than Maximo. There's no bot in this channel, or rather the bot has the same name as me, so you can't gift to the bot. That was my way of solving that problem. So the issue is, oh man, I'm not sure how to actually get around this. Like, I want the polygons to be here, but there's not enough values in here. Chedev, welcome to bar chart territory. If you stay long enough, you can become a pie chart fan. I really wish I knew how this worked exactly. So let me just see. Look, see here, there's these polygons. Hold on a second. What if I highlight all the rows except those? Let's try again. Show GeoViewer. What does this look like? So this is just the metadata table. Finland. Oh, why are we up in Finland? So if I just do one thing. Interesting. I don't... Not really sure how this works. It happened in Noob's stream. I gifted a random one and it went to the bot, so I had to gift another. Yeah, it happens. I think Noob has done that too. So for those of you who are fresh out of the raid, thank you for contributing to Facecam, Gak. Very appreciated. Now it's 68% raised.
Nice.
trying to push that that hype train to the next level. It's most appreciated. I'm trying to figure out polygons, but I think it's just not going to be possible with data grip. I mean, there are analytical things we can do with PostGIS, because if you've just joined, so we can do this kind of thing where we work out distances between the stations. It's at 69%, so I'm good at it staying there. 69% hype train, 74% face cam. So would have needed 69% at both, then you would have been winning, definitely. Yeah, so today's plan was exploring weather data with PostGIS, because that's like the spatial data plugin. And I've learned a lot about spatial data. I don't fully understand what I'm supposed to do with it yet, because the applications for this particular data set are quite limited, in the sense that I have, for example, lat long data. So from this data set, I really should have, yeah, it's good that I backed up. Oh, hype train success. We have received a level 1 hype train emote. Thank you everyone for your support. I really appreciate that. That's super cool that we could have a hype train going there. Really, really cool. Emotes are being delivered to everyone, so enjoy them, use them wisely. I need to dump these rows. I need to drop these rows. Choo choo. I need to drop these rows because they're just causing problems. Oh my gosh, what is happening here? Goodbye. Get rid of the rows. Twitch needs to add some more hype emotes. Because you got all of them already. I apologize, Gak. Where is this? There we go. We'll just get rid of those. So what I'm doing is I'm just clearing out the data that we did. Yeah, so GID and stuff, gonna have to drop those columns as well. We're gonna drop these. Drop. Bye. Objects being modified are changed. Ooh, yeah, let's force that. Okay. Can't drop primary key. Why is that? Drop. Come on. Come on. Order of priority. 1, transcoding for everyone. 2, new hype emotes. Yes, something like this. Oh, I can't remove primary keys? Come on. What's it trying to do here? Oh, maybe it doesn't know. Oh, there we go. Wonderful. All right, so we updated this table. Back to its original state. This is what it looks like with the GeoViewer. I mean, it works, right? But what I want to know is, can it work? Like, can I get different kinds of data points here? You know, can I make this like look larger or something like that? And I don't think that's the case. And that's kind of what I want to do. That's the whole point of working with map data. Because, I mean, it's just, otherwise it's not that fun. You just have points on a map, and that doesn't really do anything for anyone. So in regards to transcoding, Gak, I will try and fix that for next stream on Monday. But I think that's as far as we're going to get with PostGIS today. I don't think it's going to be possible to get further. I mean, I have this data, and it would be cool to do some more analysis of the weather measurements. Where was that information? Yeah. So this stuff, right? We can like figure out the distance it's lagging from another, but that's not so fascinating. What would be cool is figuring out per year like the average temperatures and stuff like that, just to kind of know what they are, and show some examples of working with weather stuff. But that's not, yeah, it's not like a full-on stream kind of plan. Monday. Should I say something already? I don't know. Monday we will not be continuing this. That is definitely the case. Sneak peek. Should we do a little sneak peek? Who wants to see sneak peek other than Noob? I can say a little bit about it already, but for that I will do my special effects. I need 3 people in chat that they want a sneak peek, and then I will show a sneak peek before we end stream today. We also have to figure out who we are going to raid. Oh, Sharpclaw has contributed 1 shoes to the Facecam challenge. Okay, so we have Gak on sneak peek, we have Noob on sneak peek. I need a 3rd person to say that they want sneak peek, and then I will offer sneak peek. Oh, I know who I'm gonna raid today. Definitely. It's very nice to see you here, Sharpclaw. I didn't manage to catch your last stream, unfortunately. All you have. It's a cute one. I like it. You only have one channel point. I guess you'll have to watch the stream a bit longer to get some more. You just missed a hype train, actually. Okay, I will show sneak peek. Oh, Maximo. Okay. Sneak peek. What's the sneak peek? What is the sneak peek? The sneak peek is I have a public Postgres server with 3 tables in it. And the reason I have sneak peek is DMCA notice. I really hope not. I really hope not. Otherwise I'll just delete the VOD. What do I care? They go up on YouTube anyway, so I have 3 tables here. Products, transactions, and users. Let me just show you the products. I've purposely also named the connection a little bit mysteriously so that you can't figure out what it is. These are just dummy data in here. But the reason that we have a Postgres DB here is because we are going to be testing on Monday a new ETL tool that supports something called change data capture. It's very interesting. It is a sponsored stream. I will say that already now. Doesn't affect the quality of the stream in my opinion. It just means that the vendor has decided that they would like to put a little bit of money in my pocket for me to look at their tool. But I stumbled across it and they reached out to me. And so that's what we will be doing on Mondays. We will actually be looking through the capability of what's called change data capture. And it's very interesting if you understand databases a little bit, because if you have information like this in a database about a product, so chicken and last updated, and I make changes to that actual field. So if I change, for example, the product name, or I change the last updated field, then if I overwrite this and your classic sort of ETL pipeline comes in and misses that change, change data capture works on logs, so it will always capture those changes. I can see Sharpclaw, you've discovered the commands. Feel free to go lurk, but we're going to be ending the stream shortly, just so you're aware. So it's very interesting because yeah, you would normally miss information changes like last updated because you're not inserting every change, you're overwriting it, right, instead of appending. So it's very, very interesting. I wonder if that worked for you, Sharpclaw. It should have whispered you. I'm not sure if it whispered you. I also might have disabled that one, actually. I'm not sure if I disabled that one. Let's take a quick look. I might have disabled that one. Ah, that's a sub-only command, actually. Yeah, that is a sub-only command. That's why that doesn't work. I should probably remove it. Or just change it. I changed it to everyone. I don't care. you can try it again. Yeah, so basically that's what we'll be doing on Monday. It's very interesting. It's also a chance for me to explore Snowflake, because they've set me up on a Snowflake instance. So I'll have plenty of stuff to play with on Monday. I also need to spend some time over the weekend going through it. But I really look forward to that, and I hope that everyone else also looks forward to that. Sharpclaw, if you want to retry that command, feel free. But I think we will start to end stream. And that means we have to say thank you. Today has been an interesting day, to say the least. I don't know. I mean, did we do good? It was interesting. I think I saw the limitations of PostGIS, and yeah, I think it's not necessarily the right tool. Someone like Persican would prefer to use R for mapping. They were able to do it in like 30 seconds. It took me like 3 hours to figure out that Postgres, data group already has a feature. But yes, this is the end of the stream, and I want to say thank you to gifters, Ian, Gag, and Noob. Thank you very much for gifting. To the new subs, Cheddev, Ian, Persican, Noob, and Gag. Welcome to the chart territory. Thank you to Stealth Cooler, okay? And thank you as well to Gag, Ian, and Gag, and Cold Twitchbot, very interesting, for the cheers. I hope you enjoyed today. I hope it wasn't too boring. We are going to go have a pretty nice time. We are going to raid Large Data Bank, who is I think co-founder, or at least a worker at CockroachDB. So if you're interested in databases, that's definitely the right stuff. Have a great rest of the evening and weekend, or afternoon or morning, wherever you are. And I look forward to seeing you next week on Monday. Bye-bye.